when you're online and when you're on social media, especially you have a place of prominence, you kind of got to watch what you say because, anything you say can be and will be turned into something that we never even thought about before. And that happened to one of the Cuomo brothers who, and according to the outlets, are going for Worst Brother of the Week award. And Chris is coming in a close second. Tony, you want to tell us about it?
Well, if you don't know, well, now you will know. So, Chris Cuomo was on an interview with John Lemon on CNN. So they were talking and sings the theme song from Good Times. Just looking out of the window, blah, blah, blah. And so Don Lemon looks really perturbed and kind of like a nervous thing kind of joined on. He's like, well, so how do you know this song? He goes, well, I'm black on the inside. So, I don't know how people should feel about that. Maybe that's an ode to something that's subliminal. Maybe he had some black on the inside. So I'm just trying to figure that out.
No, we're not going to do that. Y'all not going to drag Chris.
We're dragging him. We're dragging him.
Okay, so I got where he's coming from. I try to make sure I have a diaspora of friends that we can bounce things off each other. I kind of get a feed of kind of where you are at, where we're at, how we feel, And I used to be an avid watcher of Chris Cuomo show, before I was woke. And so now that I'm super woke, I don't watch the news at all. But Chris he's very intelligent, very articulate. I don't think I know for a fact that he wouldn't do anything purposefully to be racist or anything like that. And I get it. We say it like we've been guilty of saying like, oh, he must got some black somewhere, or he must be married to a sister. I know we're in a new space. You know what I'm saying? So we have to rethink, Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima got divorced, and so they're going their separate ways. And we have to be really cognizant of what we're saying, especially in that space. But I kind of got where he was coming from, and I think it's selective outrage.
I think I feel the same way as you. He was also talking to Don Lemon, who is his real friend in real life. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like they have a rapport, and we just witnessed a personal moment. And he tries his best to be very open and to share things going on in his life. And so I think he talks to his audience as though they are friends. And I have a lot of non-black friends, honestly. We've had conversations where it's like, oh, girl, you got more soul than I do because I wouldn't do that, and back and forth. I personally feel like that's the beauty of having friends outside of your race, acknowledging the differences that we have. And there are certain things that we are attracted to in different people for different reasons. And so, yeah, there might be, one of my girls is from Afghanistan, but she loves certain type of music, certain type of cuisine. She acts a certain way, the way she disciplines her kids. I'm like, you and my mom are totally on the same page. You know what I mean? In terms of corporal punishment. Not that that's a black thing, but I'm just saying some things that we might be drawn to in other people.
Right.
I have to say that it didn't make me feel some kind of way. I don't have no feelings when I hear the Good Time song. I don't particularly like it. If it makes you feel connected to the culture, a moment in time to make you feel good, because I felt like that was a positive expression. He wasn't being negative when he said it. Black was a good thing to be. Black on the inside, hey, I'm black inside and out. So that's a good place for you to be. So right. I see it as being a compliment. But, I understand there's always going to be somebody who doesn't agree with everything. So,
especially in the cancel culture. Go ahead,
My
Ryan.
thing about it is the Good Times theme song is known as the struggle song. It's the closest thing we have to a slave hymn, a modern time slave hymn. It's all about struggle. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was a personal moment, but to me, it reminded me of somebody who, we all have those white friends who are invited to the cookout. To me, it's like he's the one that wants to be invited to the cookout. I'm like, I could be at the cookout. Like, he's trying to be at the cookout to show, I trying to earn his ticket to the cookout by saying that. It's like, okay, bro, you could have been, but you're trying too hard. Maybe the next go around.
You want to issue invitations to the cookout, but you want them to not want to go?
No, it's not like that. Okay, first person I think of, if you watch sports, Travis Kelce, the tight end for Kansas City Chiefs, is the blackest white man. He has almost like an automatic ticket. Like, if he was to sing the Good Times theme song, you'd be like, of course. Like, you probably got the DVD set for Cuomo. It was just like, I just don't get that from him. It's like, I just feel like he was
Go ahead, Seth. Go ahead.
But what does black mean to you? Because you said the blackest. I would never think that about him. So what is black to you? And how do we know that Chris Cuomo doesn't have a matching pajama set?
He might.
You know,
He might.
but what is it about the two of those white men that makes it okay that this guy can do it and the other guy can't?
It's like if I showed you a picture of DMX and Brian Gumbo.
That's so far-fetched. That's so far-fetched.
Is it?
Come on, Ryan. Come with it. Let's see what you got to say.
But it's not far-fetched because
is it a black sin? Is it
not necessarily a black sin. It's the swag that he carries. It's the swag that Kelsey carries that like, oh, this brother probably knows how to make potato salad better than a black auntie.
So do you want him to have black attributes?
Now, what do you mean by attributes?
Well, you said swag. So swag would be a characteristic of black people.
Yeah.
He acts like.
Yeah, I mean, or just to me, it looked forced. That it looked forced the way he was singing the Good Times theme song. He'd be like, "Well, I'm black on the inside, right?" It's like, okay, dude, come on.
Okay,
it seemed forced. Like Coming to America too. It seemed forced.
We'll take a moment to have a sip while we think about that. I think because of the arena that guy is in, because it's an NFL arena, because it's a sports-friendly arena, and because we like sports, that he gets a get out of jail free pass to do some things that are unrequited by this guy because he's a newscaster. We don't know him that much. He's in a more stern and a more stricter environment. I feel like that really speaks to selective outrage. If he can't do it, he can't do it. And if he can do it, then he should be able to do it too. He knew the words to the theme song. He didn't have it like in his ear pod. Like, I'm gonna try to mimic this. He knew it. Like I said, I used to watch the show, and this was the toss up to Don Lemon's show. So they always have that little crossover segment, and I've seen him have some really endearing moments where he stood up for Don Lemon when he was being attacked with homophobic slurs and this, that, and the third. So I know him a little better, and I don't know that football guy. So I would probably say that Chris gets a pass before the football guy does because he can mimic it because he's in the locker room with a lot of black people. You know what I'm saying? This guy isn't, and he has a genuine connection with his black co-host. Once again, I agree. It's weird. We're walking on eggshells these days. It's the cancel culture. Baby, I might get canceled. So, like, there was a police officer that got fired for using the N-word. A black police officer that got fired from using the N-word at work. So, we don't know where we're at. To the scent of 2021 eviscerates from our nostrils. We don't know where the hell we at. So, I agree with you, Ryan. I think it was a really poor choice in timing. I don't think he was intentionally being a type of way, but it wasn't really the greatest time, especially now that your family name. Like, don't feed the bear, We tiptoe that line a lot of times. Like, there's what we call the subtle tones that could be innuendos of racism. There's just mishaps, like I think that this was, and there's over and outright racism. And something happened this week with a mom and her kid, and like I'm more concerned about that type of behavior than I am about a slip up by a guy on the news.